All right, it is currently 7:40 a.m. And this is, you're looking at what is engineered light while the door is closed. The blinds are closed. The entity is engaging in, again, you see the lights, the engineered light on the ceiling in the living room, the engineered light that covers all of the walls in my bedroom at nightfall. So you're looking at what is engineered light. This is occurring during the day. This is a specific environment, absolutely clearly the unnatural environment, and the entity is maintaining a light source, all of which are the hallmarks of federal group stalking and monitoring, the ways in which the federal government can identify, and even the ordinary person can identify, where you are being placed under surveillance by the government, and there are particular hallmarks that you will identify. This is concentrated light that's occurring in the distance, in the depths of the apartment. And this is the same exact engineered light that you saw beside my window at nightfall. And you saw multiple shadows on this wall beside it, multiple shadows with the patterns of the blinds as I was holding my arm up so you can see the multiple shadows. And the entity is, sorry, I have a clay mask on my hand. And the multiple shadows that are on the this door, I took pictures of that. That was at nightfall. And so that was, I was letting you know, this is nothing other than an ongoing maintenance of a specific environment, which is entirely unnatural. It's not just that it's unnatural. It's not that it's just prefacing a criminal pattern of conduct. It's demonic. Okay. And the entity, while I had the door closed, you're looking at what is light that's moving across the carpet, concentrated light moving across the carpet. All right. Not moving across the carpet, but spread across the carpet. This is under no circumstances sun. And you also know that because the sun is present over Hope Boulevard and Euclid Avenue, which is the value of documentation. And at no point in time is there ever going to be any sun that's going to be over the property of Alvarado Gardens, because it's not going to be visible or rising over the sunset while it's a present over the Ontario Police Department, who's in relevant position to me on Hope Boulevard and Euclid Avenue, standing at 150 East Hope Boulevard in Ontario, California. And that is the prosecution of the people of the state. This is prosecution for, again, this is relevant to the long term in federal prison. So you're not talking about what's a matter of sitting for a couple of months or for a couple of weeks in federal prison. The entity is going to be subject to, and this is what the policy, the pattern of conduct is justifying, substantial time in federal prison, disbanding police departments that are engaging in state terrorism, because that's what federal group stalking and monitoring is. And this is the impermissible threat, because the entity has witnessed its exposure. The entity is continuously waging a threat against my life every day, engaging in ongoing documented acts of intimidation by an entity. Remember, LAPD is monitoring me with the people. The entity is threatening my life on an ongoing basis. The entity is engaging in what is molesting in engineered light while the entity places me under surveillance. The entity, the demon possessed, which is the public entity, understand that play on words, because both are relevant. It's a demonic entity and it's the public entity, the state of California, engaging in ritualistic, demonic conduct, which is criminal, serving for federal group stalking and monitoring, which is in violation of existing federal law beyond Title 18. I have used Title 18 for what the entity is doing and all the ways that it's doing it. Omnitrans, the planes and the helicopters, the people of the state on the roads and the highways. Yeah, they're monitoring. The entity is engaging in interstate commerce. These businesses that use their large trucks, these companies, they're engaged in interstate commerce. They come across state lines. There's so much that you can prosecute for. They're crossing state lines with the intent to engage in the state's pattern of conduct in the specific environment while they're being documented. There's so much that you can, just that. All right, but there are other laws. RICO comes to mind, but there are additional federal legislation that I advocate in order to prosecute a government that is engaging in that which is not a secret. It's not concealed, right? It's not even intelligent as you're witnessing it. And so this is the maintenance of the environment. And then I want you to take a look again and remind you about what's going on in Ontario, California as I documented it. The sun is rising and the sun is setting while I'm at the same exact intersection in the morning and in the evening. That's impossible. And while I capture that phenomenon, this is also capturing what is impossible, because there will be no sunlight. There will be no sun at the address of 1806 North Alvarado Street, where I'm capturing the same. The sun is rising and the sun is setting while I'm inside of my apartment. And you're also looking at the moon that is above me at that same location where the sun is setting. That's the pattern of conduct. And that is the unmistakable pattern of conduct, which has also been documented. And by the way, Los Angeles County and San Bernardino County, but if you know the definition of a pattern, that's one or more occurrence. So when you take the body of evidence that was documented in San Bernardino County, it was literally duplicated when I came to Los Angeles County. That is establishing on a smaller scale. That's the pattern of conduct. Okay, that's that's literally the entity that's surrounded and at the This is capturing what is the demonic. The entity is engaged in a pattern of demonic conduct, maintaining a demonic environment while they are engaging in what is demonic activity. Group stalking is demonic activity. The demon possessed act in packs. They act in groups. They don't act as individuals. That's what group stalking is. It is currently 7:45 a.m. So I want you to see the light source, because this is documentation that's going to be used as a matter of not only is the case already established, but when those of the Los Angeles Police Department are facing time in federal prison, how long they're going to sit in federal prison. All right, it's not going to be up for any reasonable debate. They're going away for a prolonged period. You're disbanding that agency. The people of the state, all of whom are documented. Stephanie Ortiz continues to be documented while she engaged in criminal summoning on April 29, 2022 in order to obstruct justice while I'm enforcing my rights. She is engaging in ongoing inflicting additional damages, which San Bernardino County, representing the people of the state, is going to be liable for. She's going to face time in federal prison, and it's relevant to while she acted on behalf of an entity, she herself engaging in what is the psychopathic behavior of acting like you're calling the police, who are stalking and monitoring with you, because you are hostile, a demon who had directed light above her head in that venue, where the entity was keeping the light source all day long, and then the entity with a straight face places a light source over me and sets it over me, and then has the moon over me as of March 25th, 2024, okay? That's why she's going to federal prison, and she's going for a long time. That's what this ongoing documentation is serving, and that's why I go to show you the same thing day in and day out, because it's going for the terms in federal prison. It's going for the ways in which the people of the state are going to be prosecuted. When the entity is considering whether or not the people of the state are a threat to their children, yes, indeed they are. All right, while they're threatening the lives, and including children, to threaten the life of another, because that's what you're doing when you're monitoring via children. When you're engaging in the sex offense and terrorism via children, they're including children in that. Understand the position of the targeted individual, who are looking at children threaten their safety and their physical well-being and their life, while they're monitoring you, and their parent is holding their hand, and the people of the state engage in that high level of malice to torment you in your face, while the entity is stalking with the whole environment, and stalking in helicopters, and stalking in police, fire, and ambulance vehicles. The federal law is going to address this, and this is what I want you to understand while I'm capturing day in and day out that which is insurmountable evidence against all of the entity. Okay, it's currently 7:48 a.m. This is P.O.C. This is documenting, again, the sex offense. The sex offender that's been shown as the obsessed stalker. Okay, that's delusional. Upon enforcing your rights, that's what documentation is establishing. The target individual starts documenting. The sex offender that's stalking you continues to engage in stalking and monitoring you, and the sex offender is the state. So you're going to prosecute accordingly. The state is already going to be subject to a very intense federal prosecution, because the government has no business placing you under surveillance in the United States. And so while they continue to do so, as you are enforcing your rights, and that's the legal affect of documenting it. Once that has begun, the impermissible threat, which is grounds of prolonged time in federal prison. Understand, the entity has been posing the impermissible threat for years. It is currently 7:49 a.m. This is the light source that is present setting outside of my window after 5 p.m. Not the sun, not the natural environment, and the entity is also engaging in what is placing the moon at that same position where you see it setting in alignment to my apartment. That is over building 1818, which is the P.O.C.